whole time. Hello and welcome to One Broadway Collaborative, our show, Performers on Performing. I'm Aaron Tornberg, and I'm here today with a special show. We haven't done this before. This is a new one. We have a band with us, and I'm in the way of the drummer, and so I want to make sure we can see everybody. This is the show where we talk about performance, live performance for music, for comedy, for spoken word, everything. And the Mark Kamoski project is who's with me, and they sound pretty good together. So we'll see pretty soon what that sounds like. In the meantime, I'm going to ask them some questions, and we'll introduce to each of the members of the band. So first, hi, I'm Aaron. What's your name?
I'm Paul Miller. Nice to meet you.
All right, so Paul Miller, you are the bass player.
Yes.
Show everybody what a bass looks like, as if they don't know.
It's got four
But
strings.
they might. Right, we've got 4 strings. They're thick. They're nice. And over here on the keyboard.
Hi, my name's Mark Kamoski. This is the MK project, and we're happy to be here, Aaron. Thanks for having us in.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Tunes, yeah, this is what a keyboard sounds like.
Yes, it is. And now we get the loud one. Aaron, what's your name?
I'm Steve Bridges.
Steve Bridges. Play a little drums for us. That's what
Cowbell.
drums sound like. Okay, so next we have
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts. And Eric Roberts is playing my favorite instrument, the guitar, because that's what I play. You guys are, you are all musicians for how long? I guess, Mark, how long have you been?
I want to say at least 20 years playing music. Not with these folks, unfortunately, but on with different bands over the years, 20 years. We've been together maybe a year as a quartet, but I've known Paul since before that, and I knew Steve before that. And so Eric's kind of the young one to the group here.
All right. Well, new guys are good. Bring some youth into the sound.
Eric's awesome.
Someone who pushed their wheelchairs.
That's right. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what you were doing. You're just getting a younger musician to take care of you all in your old age. That's what it was, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So we're talking about performing. What do you have to do to start a band as opposed to, I mean, you all are musicians. You've all started playing your instruments at some point. But at some point you learned to play with the band. What was that like?
Paul, you feel that one. 'cause
Yeah,
have
you
a
know,
lot of
it's sort of one, you got to find people you want to work with. I think the biggest problem is we all look for like great musicians, but at the end of the day, you're stuck in a room together. Hours, if you're playing out, you're spending hours and hours together. If you don't like each other, it can be pretty rough. I've seen bands fight. I've seen band fights that I've been in. I've seen fist fights. I've seen chokings. People get very emotional.
Not here, Paul.
No. That's why we're here together, because we never fight, we never squabble, we barely ever even disagree. But I think that's the biggest thing is you got to avoid band drama. And I think the other keys to me is, you got to find people that are tolerant of even different styles, because we're all not going to play the same way. We're not going to agree. You got to find some happy medium, and sometimes that musical style tension creates the new music. I think that's another key for success.
That's part of what's fun about it too.
Yeah.
Lots of different styles coming together and seeing what it becomes.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same. There's a thing, I can have a concept, and you can have a concept, and I can write the chords and say, here's what it sounded like when I played it at home, guys. But if the time comes to play it together, it's going to come out different, because everybody's bringing their own imagination, and that's what's unique about it. Every take's going to be a little bit different. So and we try to keep that here. We call ourselves a jam band, but it's probably fusion, sort of related stuff, I guess, if you wanted to give it a style. But the point is, we try to keep the music open for innovation.
What is a jam band exactly? Describe what that would mean.
A jam band typically means a very general category of musical bands who do a lot of touring, extended improvisational music, and have generally a community of followers of that style of music. So they tend to gravitate towards festivals in a culmination where there'll be parties where they'll bring a bunch of different party bands that go. But and it's typically not music that's heard on the radio. It's music that's heard live, and it's sort of geared toward that. But improv is a big part of it, to have improvisational sections.
Interesting. So the improv part, do all of you have experience with improv? I don't mean comedy. I mean,
I've always wanted to do comedy.
Me too. I wanted to try that out.
Yeah, but
Not today, though.
Do you guys have musical training that allows you to do improv, or do you just do it by ear?
No, I've taken lessons since I was a kid. So if you didn't know how to improv, where I grew up in New York, if you couldn't sit in with a group of people and just come up with your own thing, lay down something that sounds good, you weren't going to survive. So to me, that's really the fun part is we're not playing the same song over and over and over. I always think of those quotes where you hear bands say, it's great when you write a hit song, but when you played it for the 3 millionth time, it's really painful. And I think that's the fun part is we're not stuck to. It could come out very different depending on how we're jiving, But I think the supportiveness of the way we play makes it better, because we'll all try to work together. We all listen to each other.
That's great. I think now would be a good time for a song. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, great.
All right.
So this song is called "Boat Beneath a Sunny Sky," and an interesting story about it is that it's the lyrics are from Lewis Carroll. So he doesn't have a copyright anymore, so we borrowed his poem.
Song is by Mark.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
sadness anear. Eager eyes and a willing ear. Please, oh please, simple tale to hear. Still she haunts me, phantom-wise. Alice moving underneath the skies. Never seen by waking eyes. Ever drifting down that street, lingering in a golden dream. Ever drifting down that street. Life, what is it but a dream? Nothing but a dream. Judgment yet, the tale to hear. Eager eyes and a willing ear. Lovingly, lovingly shall listen near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by. Dreaming, oh dreaming, as summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in a glow. Ever drifting down the stream. Life, what is it but a dream?
It was fun.
Yeah, we usually don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
we
gonna
ended.
clap.
We don't always end.
Clap. You guys done great.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when you're ending sometimes.
Well, usually we don't end there. We're going for another 20 minutes.
Right, so you're used to just
Yeah.
continuing on. So, what do you guys do for rehearsal? How many times a week, like, do you have to get together to be able to stay tight as a band?
Yeah, so that's a good question. We got this place that we're setting up, this little music studio, music rehearsal area.
Small.
And it's small, yeah, it's small.
The size of the
but
carpet.
we try to get there as often as we can. We as a group, the four of us, have committed to Wednesdays, so one time a week guaranteed. However, we have some other nights that we play there. We mix and match some musicians. And so Steve plays on Mondays, for instance. Paul comes on Fridays a lot. Eric's kind of a floater. Like, we'd love to have Eric here as much as we can. And so overall, I think we're probably in some formation, at least two of us play at least 2 times a week. And as a quartet, the four of us play at least once a week. Yeah, and then we try to play little shows like this and get out and get some more practice under our belt.
Okay.
We also change instruments when necessary.
Yeah, so these guys are super multi-instrumentalists. They can play any instrument here.
What do you guys play usually? Like, do you play like solo stuff and you play something different, or?
I do solos. I have to do acoustic stuff outside of this, but like if we don't have don't have a drummer, I might switch to drums. He might switch to drums.
Sometimes both in one night.
Sometimes we'll both switch back and forth, and then we'll just bring another guitarist. And guitarists are easier to find,
Right.
so we've kind of accepted that.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Not
Drummers
this
and bassists are expensive.
Yeah, drummers are hard to find.
Yes.
That's a tricky
We've
one.
had very bad luck with drummers.
I have actually found that with several bands I know. So you're lucky. And you're lucky because you're a drummer, so you're in demand, right?
It works out great for me. It's a lot of fun to play with.
Likewise.
But
You've been our core, Steve. Like, really. We
Mark and I have been playing together a couple of years.
Yeah,
2.5 years.
more, probably, maybe a little more than me and Paul.
I started playing with you at the end of COVID.
Yeah, so
It's like
that's
right
been a
after
couple
I got
years
my
at least, right?
vaccine. Yeah, it was a couple
what
like
year is
months
it?
after my vaccine. So whenever that was.
But yeah, Steve and I met even before that, and we played in a different band, some different people. But it's about staying in touch. And you asked about how to form a band. That's the tricky part. How do you get the schedules to merge and the interests to merge and the personalities, like Paul said?
Right.
That's a special mix. And when you find those people, you want to hold on to them and give them as much freedom as you can. And so that's my sort of general thing. It's like, I just want.
Mark is the organizer of all things. Without him, we would probably never get it together.
So
He does a lot.
this is called the Mark Kamoski Project.
Yeah, or technically the MK project, but I should correct the record here a little bit. We are rebranding. I don't like that name personally. It's just something I carried with me. But we're trying to think of a new name, and that's going to be a little bit of a process. So our working title is the MK Project.
You should be Mortal Kombat. That would just be the same thing.
I think we might get
Yeah.
sued, which wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, so MK was a wink and a nod back at the MK Ultra experiment, but also I don't want it as closely associated with me. I want it to be about the band, about a group of people that's sort of other than me. There's something bigger than all of us that we sort of contribute to.
So this is going to be on YouTube. I think maybe we should have some suggestions in the comments.
Post them.
Oh, there you
We'll
go.
Yeah,
steal
post,
them, though.
but be
if
kind,
we see
please.
something we like, we'll steal it.
Post
No
your
copyright.
suggestions. What should the MK Project rename itself?
Be nice,
And-
please. Very sensitive.
Yeah, that's fun naming a band. How many memes have you seen online?
Oh, God.
Where they're like, come up with a band name, or your band name is your first name and the first street you lived on. or-
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was your porn name.
Oh, well, porn name.
Yeah,
that too.
it's tricky. Yeah,
Your
there's
dog in the
that. So we'll come up with something. It's just going to take a little while, and I've set my mind to it. I have a list now of about 100 names, and I haven't even run them by these guys yet. So we'll get there. MK Projects is a working title because here's the thing. We're about live music. That's the whole thing here. We want to play live. We can all play at home and do our recordings and all that, and all that's well and good. But we want to come together and play live and do something special in real time. That's what we're about. So we're going to keep playing. We're not going to wait on the name. We're going to keep going and play whenever we can.
Well, I know you played at One Broadway several times. Maybe we'll throw a clip in a little bit at the beginning of the show so we can show the show you did over next door. But this is great to have you in the studio because we can get really nice sound in here with you guys, and you're really set up as you would be live. So that's great.
Yeah, we're really grateful, Aaron, for you having us here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place, so clean, so well organized. I mean, and that's just very helpful and very nice of you to have us here.
Yeah, no problem. And I wanted to talk a little more about performance. So when you go to get a performance gig, you must do different kinds. So we've talked a little before the show about like bars. So you know, bars seem to be a necessary thing for bands because they will pay you up front. Which is
really?
something that's hard to do.
I'm always lucky if I can collect anything.
Okay, well, they're supposed to pay you up front.
Yeah.
Or give you beer and dinner. I don't know. It depends on the bar, I suppose. Have you had any luck in some bar gigs?
We're just getting there. We started to play out. We played out here, and we played out another venue called the Jungle in Somerville.
Okay.
Those have been our primary. Here, One Broadway out there, like in the other room, as you've seen, and the Jungle have been all we really have under a belt as a group here yet. These guys have played hundreds of shows out. I've, in past life, I've played a bunch of shows, but not as much experience as these guys. But the tricky part is finding the gigs, and we don't drive a hard bargain. We drive a soft bargain, and we're ready to play. So if anybody's listening, we'll play parties or play outdoors, but we're just getting there within the last, 6 months or so. We just started sort of getting out of the room and into some venues.
Well, what's some of the gigs that you've had that are memorable? With what bands?
I played with a band called Crazy Jane for about 10 years. We opened for Alice in Chains and Buck Cherry. We played all over and played at CBGB's and got paid.
Oh, wow.
So I've had my share of good gigs, and I've played in bars where you had to be careful where you walked because you got stuck to the floor, or I've seen my share of, oh my God, what am I seeing over in the corner of my eye? And then we played at some places that were pretty nice. But yeah, you sort of have to pay your dues, and you got to establish the relationships. I think the nice thing, what we've got is very professional attitude. We come, we perform. There's no drama. And that's, I think, one of the things you have to do with the clubs. Want to know that you're going to show up, you're going to be ready, you're not going to make a mess, and you're not going to play music that no one wants to hear. I've had those shows too where we opened once for a band and brought like 200 people. And as soon as the next band went on, everyone left, and they were calling us the next day angry. And I'm like, you guys are not very good. And I get it. I'm sorry, but I would work on your act.
No, you're not sorry.
I felt bad for them. They were nice guys, so, But that's the challenge of playing original music too. It's always got its own thing.
Oh yeah.
Because you can take the course. You can mix originals and covers in, and a lot of bands have done well with that, and eventually you get to the point where you do more of your own stuff once people get used to it, or and they know the songs. It's always
you just have
better.
to keep playing it over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and you got to get the old days you got to get on the radio. Now you got to be on YouTube, and you got to be out there constantly pushing new material, new content.
Well, tomorrow you guys will be on YouTube.
And not the first time with you either, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
but yeah, and we gotta promote that and get all our friends to promote it and get on the Google searches and do all those fun things.
Yeah, and then I'll have to change the name when you guys change your name.
Yeah, so that's part of the trouble. But we have a little YouTube presence. I post under the MK Project on my channel, so we can be found out there. But it's a lot of work too. There's the thing. There's mixing. There's organizing the schedules. There's making sure equipment's where it needs to be, and all of that. And so there are some logistics there, and that's important stuff that has to happen. But it's not playing the music, and so we all want to get to playing music. We have to do those other things.
Mark does all the work though.
Yeah.
Make sure he gets all the credit.
Eric's played out a ton,
Eric,
right?
where did you play?
Where did I play? All over New England.
Or with whom? Or
With
both?
whom?
Yeah.
Nothing too exciting. The Alpha Echo was my last band, that kind of a space rock, Pink Floydy type of thing.
Oh, I like Pink Floyd.
That's more me being me. These guys brought me to the bright side. I was always much more of a dark, minor field kind of guy, and started playing happy Mixolydian and major stuff with them. So it's been fun. Brought on a whole new side of me. But I guess one interesting memory. Toured 4 guys in a Ford Econoline van through New England, and one night we woke up, and the one guy, Ben, because he didn't have any space, fell asleep on the train tracks. Didn't even know it was train tracks. We woke up and we're like, oh boy. So that's a pretty memorable one. That's 1996 probably.
That's not good. Did a train come by and hit you?
No, I don't even know if they were used, but it was just interesting to wake up to see that. Like, oh, Ben's sleeping on train tracks.
That's not good.
No.
It's a bad way to end a tour.
Hope it wasn't used. But,
Steve, you played at Porch Fest recently?
Oh yeah, I play some hand percussion too with a guitarist and singer that wants some backup. And
so like a folky kind of acoustic vibe?
well,
or-
I sit on a cajon with a pedal. I have a smaller hi-hat.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple of congas that I lower, and a couple of cymbals. I just play with my hands. So I do that from time to time. I play with a band that plays sort of 80s party music from time to time. In fact, talk to you afterwards. I might be interested in splitting a date with us. We'll talk about
great.
if you might be
Yeah.
interested.
Right, you only have to set up the drums once. So
We'll see if that works out. So I played mostly, bars and coffee houses and restaurants, and I haven't played nearly as much as Paul, as bigger venues. But the rain, some places are pretty nice, and some places sticky floor. And
Yeah, I remember going from playing at some big venues to playing some really dive bars with 12 people in the audience on a Wednesday night. So it's a challenge, right? The big shows are exhausting, but they're a lot of fun, and then you still have to continue to pay your dues. I always think the story, Van Halen got discovered on a Wednesday night in a bar with 5 people. 2 of them were record execs, and they said if the David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen can play like this in an empty bar on a Wednesday night, they'll do great when we put them in an arena. And they got signed the next day. And I think they had been around for 6 years out in LA. So I'm always that's your job. And nowadays there's no record labels, so. Or at least not like there was.
well, you could come to One Broadway, and
Yeah.
there could be a big
I'll launch it.
producer. You never know.
No, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? You don't know who will see you and who will like you. And
Well, So why don't we do another song?
Okay.
And we'll come back, talk some more after. I want you guys to be thinking about the story of the worst gig you ever had. Okay?
Okay.
there's a lot of those.
Okay, so this song is called Echoes, so sing along if you want. Should have got you a mic there, Eric, but next time. Yeah, belt it out. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lady Clara, Vera Vera, was 8 years old, and she said,
slightly shaken, ran itself in gold thread. She took her little porringer. Of me she shall not win renown, for the baseness of its nature. It shall have strength to drag her down. Echoes, echoes, only echoes. Only echoes of the past. Echoes, echoes, only echoes. Only echoes of the past. Sisters and brothers, little maid, that stands the inspector at that door. Like a dog, he hounds the floor. No, not two, but two or four. Words are more than coronets. She sat and wondering, looked at me. It is the dead, unhappy night, and I must hurry home to tea.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was great. So, did you think of the worst gig you ever had?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, I
The second
expected
you
Paul
said
to. I expected Paul to go first, but okay.
It was July 4th, Manchester. July 4th, Manchester, New Hampshire fireworks show. And my singer had lost his voice midway through the song. And then he was also the guitarist, so midway through he could no longer play guitar either. Because he was so upset about his voice. And the rest of the show just fell apart from there. People didn't notice. That's the amazing part
Well,
to
there were
me.
fireworks going off. So.
Yeah, well, the fireworks started after our performance, so we were like the lead into the fireworks. You have your shows. Always my favorite ones are the drunks at the bar that do something you don't predict. Oh, awesome! Thank you, sir. I have no hand-eye coordination.
This is a special part of the show where we throw water at the band. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
Sound
He's just singing.
Sound waves great.
Thank you. That's good.
Um,
Reading my mind.
All
Yeah.
right, big round of applause for Joshua for bringing water.
Awesome.
All right, Joshua. Thank you. Yeah, and thanks to everyone in the booth and
Oh, yeah, the
part
whole
of your
place.
operation, Aaron here. Everybody's great here.
Well,
Yeah, this is awesome.
we have a lot of fun with you guys and other performers. That's what we do. So, thank you for coming. But fireworks show is a pretty good one. Anybody else got a story of a difficult gig?
Well, the second you mentioned that one came to mind where
Yeah.
a drummer got a little too intoxicated. We were the headline for a big Haiti, fundraiser
Right.
after that huge earthquake, the natural disaster relief or whatever. We were the headliner. We ended up playing 3 songs because I said, go to the end of the set list. We're all done. Because he was a little too intoxicated. It was pretty embarrassing. So.
Yeah.
I had a
That's the
drunk.
first one that came to my mind.
I had a drunk once walk on stage in the middle of between songs and stuff. He loved us. He was like, came stumbling up and started asking all kinds of questions. I'm like, can you just start the next song, please?
Yeah, I've had people delay gigs who were a little bit intoxicated and they just want to keep talking to you. It does get a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. I was more scared that was the club where someone got killed.
Well, that's scarier than my experience. How about you, Mark? Anything?
Well, I'm trying hard here because I enjoy them. I try to get something positive out of anything, even a train wreck, and that can be hard. But I showed up for this gig, and it was going to be just me solo. And I was like, hey, it was out of state. It was fairly recently. And I said, hey, to the booking agent, maybe he can get me a guitarist. There are going to be some other bands of 4, maybe someone want to play guitar and drums, or bass and drums, is what I was trying to go for, that core trio. So I got a guitarist and bass player, and I don't even remember their names, and I wouldn't want to either, because nothing on them. The 2 brave souls got up there, but we just couldn't do it. We couldn't do what we do here. Like when we start our practices, we usually just, somebody starts playing something and we all jump in and we make something out of it to warm up. And then it might become a song or it might not, but there's a synchronicity and there's sort of a blending that works, and sometimes it doesn't work. Well, that time it didn't work. I just plowed through it though. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go heads down, play my songs, and they'll catch on. And they played a little bit, but it's an interesting anecdote because it relates to performance. And there's this shyness, some people call it butterflies, but people who are starting out on instruments, I went through this myself, and I'm not even that good now, but you play soft and you play sparse when you feel like you're not good enough. You don't have that confidence, and you may actually not be good enough, but you can't play so sparse and so soft that no one can hear you. And sort of getting over that hump. And those 2 guys that I played with up there, they were at that point, and I kept telling them, just turn up. I don't care what you play, turn up. So they had a lot of fun, and we ended up having a lot of fun. I finally got them to turn up, and it sounded okay.
Yeah, that's a big open mic problem I have, is that people who aren't used to being at a mic, they're too quiet, or they don't like in a lot of cases, if you want to be heard, you got to eat the mic. If you're not loud enough, you especially have to eat the mic. So what you just have to know that, because a lot of people will be like this and holding it really far away, and then you can't hear them, and that's not good because you guys are a full band. If you weren't singing loud enough, then we just wouldn't hear you, and that's not a good performance. So
That's so right.
it's difficult.
I like that as the guys who singing to the side of the mic.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Well, I still struggle with that. It's tough. Like I tend to drift because I'm a little animated, and I want
Yeah.
to lean in and lean to the side. And Paul keeps saying, "Look, you're on the side." He'll reach over and like re-angle the mic for me at the practice room, and I'm like, "Thank you," because
Because I couldn't hear it, you put it like this, and all of a sudden there's
all that volume, and I'm like, "Wow, where'd that come from?"
Yeah.
I
So-
struggle with the same thing though, so if it makes you any happier. I always forget you gotta, especially in some bars and stuff, you really gotta belt the vocals out to just be heard, and sometimes it sounds better if you really get some volume behind it. But there's also guys who are super loud and then they eat the mic and blow the mic out. You know, you look at the old crooners. I've seen. My father was Tony Bennett's accountant, so I've seen him a bunch of times. And if you watch Tony, he's got the mics he's like a trombonist with that mic. And when he gets loud, the mic is over here. When he's soft, the mic is up here. And
Technique.
that mic technique. You know, I always know, and it's funny because when I recorded bands and I've played in enough bands, you want to tell the guys like, you got to really embrace that part of your instrument is the microphone. You got to really know your mic, but. Now I'm trying to sing and I'm like, yeah, I'm just as bad.
Well, it sounded good. He played solo here.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
This is one of my first ever acoustic shows. So.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Maybe we'll find that clip and put it in right
Yeah,
now.
there you go. Just the good parts.
Yeah, only the good part. So, Steve, what do you do about volume? Because I know that with drums, I've had trouble with drummers who just don't know how to tone it down a touch. And I know you're pretty good at that, where you can go loud, but you can also drop it.
Well, I just try to listen to the other players. You know, when a verse begins or when a solo's, you know, make space for the other players.
Right.
And you know, it's not that hard to lighten up a little bit. Of course, you can play with bundles or brushes instead of sticks to be a little quieter, but you can also just not hit it as hard. It's not that hard.
You got great chops. Not all drummers have good chops, you know. Like you definitely have stick control when I watch you play as a drummer as well. I always go, yeah, he's got good rolls. Everything's solid, played well, but you don't want to play
Mark
with.
is an excellent drummer. Yeah, I'm like Ringo, the worst
Paul,
drummer. They're
Paul.
probably both better drummers than me.
Okay.
But I can't
with
play
them, I'm having
softly.
fun.
I'll blow the whole building out if I play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a challenge. I often say, like, that's our benchmark. Like, people come in and we might have somebody visiting us and they'll just say, tune it to the drum, because we have, you can go low, but you can't go too low. So there's some minimum volume level you have to match. And
So I have a request. You might not be able to do it, but you said you're a Pink Floyd fan.
Uh-oh.
You guys do any?
No, we're not into
No?
covers.
No Floyd?
No
Okay.
covers really,
No, we
other
haven't.
than
It's
every
all
once in a
originals?
while we might do a spacey cover of like a Grateful Dead song, but just maybe not sing it. But yeah, this particular project, this Wednesday night project, you know, the MK project, working title is we're trying to go after sort of a fusion or a synthesis of some of that stuff. And like that last song, that's really kind of a mellow sort of crooner tune, maybe, I don't know, but it's different, and we try to look for some different types, little funk, little fusion, spacey and psychedelic, but not quite Pink Floyd yet.
All right.
Yeah, I think Eric and I are both in agreement. We'd rather do original music than covers. I was never a big fan of learning covers. I know lots of covers, but it's not like sitting around and practicing covers was never my favorite
Well,
thing
you
to
just
do.
have to write a song in the style of Pink Floyd.
Sure, we must have something.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Do you?
We have some things.
Yeah. Are we doing Belshazzar, or are we doing? Is that on the list or
I
not?
thought we were going to do a hippopotamus song.
It's not
Strange
Pink Floydy,
Wild.
but it's fun. I think out of all the stuff we do, he and I like the hippopotamus song the best. Well, what's the actual name of it?
Strange Wild Song.
It has a verse in which hippopotamus is the rhyming verse.
Yes.
the
I
rhyming
like
word, which is
hippopotamus
very
as a
cool.
rhyming word.
Yeah. So how many songs have the word hippopotamus in it? Right.
You ever hear Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he has that song, I'm the hippopotamus, my lyrics, they are bottomless.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, darn! I thought we were the only ones with that lyric,
Yeah.
but
I like hippopotamus. There's actually a song about a hippopotamus called Mud that I've also heard.
this is this song we're going to play is kind of a funky blues thing, but we take our leisure with it and we kind of make it our own. But we can work on something and bring it back to you.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do Spacey
Yes, that's your
next time you have
assignment
us.
for next time. So, why don't you guys play something?
Okay, great. Thank
Thank you, Aaron.
Check. So this is on a Strange World song. Yep. Okay, not too fast, not too slow. 1, 2, 3, 4.
been very ill. He thought he saw a coach head fall and stood beside his bed. He looked again and found it was a bear without a head. Poor thing, he said, poor silly thing, is waiting to be fed.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys.
All right, so that was great. I like your little fade out at the end.
Yeah, we're trying to do that. Usually that's mixing, but try to figure out. It's one of the things, talking about performing, one of the hard things is how to stop a song, especially a song like that has a lot of inner momentum due to its form being recognizable in blues songs. I personally find them hard to end, to sort of cue the band.
It's like Grateful Dead, right? You just keep going and going and going with the jam part.
Yeah, and maybe and
then go into another song.
Yeah, that is true. Like we turn a lot of these into extended jams. So we have a little intro jam. We sing through some lyrics. I try to sing through some lyrics, and then we'll do at the end just whatever we want, and it'll go into spatial stuff, psychedelic stuff, or we'll come up with another beat, and just play it through.
That's
20 minutes, half an hour. It's not uncommon.
Well, it's been great having you guys. I want you to do one more song before we go. So before you go, I wanted to thank you for coming to do the show and to One Broadway.
Anytime.
And,
Thank you.
and this has been great. So
Yeah.
the other thing is you said you had a YouTube channel. What is your channel?
So you can find it under the MK Project. It's labeled. That should get you there, or you could see. This is why I didn't want to be out. This is.
We'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah. You'll be able to see it. It's also under my name. So there's the thing. I don't even know how to do that. I need to unbrand my current channel and leave one just with my name.
He
It's
doesn't
my
need all the
YouTube site.
semantics. He just needs this link.
Yeah. So there's the thing. Yeah. Well, send a link or something.
I'm a jerk, but I'm get to the point.
Yeah. It's still a work in progress. Some of that stuff.
All right. Anybody else have any social media you want to promote?
Oh God, I need to do that.
Okay. Well, We'll put that up on screen at the end of the program, or maybe during this last song, if you guys
Awesome.
send it to me. We'll
Yep,
just do that.
I'll send out a
I think
link.
we're
Don't do it
playing
right
just
now.
a full improv.
Just,
right.
just
Yeah,
play
we're
the
not
song.
Oh, okay. After.
What are we
After,
Okay.
yeah, I'll put it up on the screen when we edit.
Oh, I see.
but
Okay, yeah,
so
great.
we'll be
Okay,
good.
for sure.
So thank you for coming, and I guess we'll just go out with the last song by the MK Project. So everybody,
Okay,
thanks for
awesome.
watching.
What are we doing?
Performers on
We're
Performing,
gonna do
and
A minor jam.
this is
A minor
Aaron
jam.
Tornberg, and I am the director
I
of One
started.
Broadway Collaborative. If you
A little
want to know
faster
more
than we
about what we're
normally do.
doing, go to onebroadway.org.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
onebroadway.org. All right, take it away.
Okay, this is a song called I Taste the Liquor Never Brewed. 1, 2, 3, 4. I tasted liquor never brewed from Tiger's scooped-in purse. Not all of that's along the Rhine. You such an